In this video, I'm going to be going over some things only original ARC players will remember. So this list isn't in any particular order, it's kind of just random, so don't really take them as rankings, it's kind of just a random list. Also, if you have anything that you think I should have put on the list, let me know, because I might end up making a part 2 if this video does end up doing good, so I might include some comments from there in the next video. Number 10 is when bosses didn't have any boss arenas, so they would just spawn right at the obelisk and then you just fight them right there. This meant that you could literally bring whatever you want. You could have an army of 1,000 T-Rexes if the game didn't crash by that point, or you could just bring a bunch of gigas and kill it in like 2 seconds. So this was definitely pretty overpowered. You see why they added arenas, one because it's cool, and two because you need a limited amount of stuff that you can actually bring to boss fights, so you don't just kill it instantly. Number 9 is the original map. So in the original island, it didn't have the Arctic biome, and it also didn't have the Redwoods biome, as well as it also didn't have the snow biome. Here's a picture of the original map. Now, this is kind of a weird picture because I guess it's kind of like a render of the original map, but you can definitely see a lot of the stuff is missing, the Arctic and all that. It just looks pretty plain, it was just the jungle all the way through, and there wasn't much biome. Until they started adding even more biomes, like even the volcano was not even erupted, it's just flat. I personally remember that because I built a base inside of there when they removed it, and so my base got deleted, so that kind of sucked, but that is the original map. So number 8 is going to be the original Kibble System. So most of you guys know by now, the Kibble System now, there's like a few different types, and then each one works for a number of creatures. So basic Kibble will work for all the smaller dinosaurs, and then it kind of just goes up to this exceptional Kibble, or extraordinary Kibble, where it will last for all kinds of different creatures. That's not how it used to work though. How it used to work is that there would be one specific Kibble that every dinosaur would need. So for example, if you wanted to tame a Rex, you would need scorpion kibble, and then so you'd have to go and get a scorpion, get its eggs, and then make kibble from that. But if you wanted a Quetzal, you need a Rex kibble, and then if you wanted a Giga, you need a Quetzal kibble. I'm not sure if that's the exact one, but it was just all stuff like that. So like you literally had to have egg farms for every single creature in the game if you wanted to be able to tame everything with kibble. So it was an absolute nightmare trying to tame everything with this old kibble system. So number 7 on the list was the original breeding system. So basically, nowadays you just put 2 dinosaurs next to each other and then enable mating, and then they lay an egg. So it's pretty simple, and then you could get a ton of dinos this way. But back in the day, we had to enable wandering in order to get them to mate. There was no mating option, so this would made it extremely hard. Most of the time, you just have to build a pen around them, because if you didn't build a pen or anything like that, they would literally just wander off in random directions, and they would stop breeding, and it would cancel out the whole thing, which was extremely annoying. So basically, every time you wanted to breed something, you had to build a pen that fit the animal just right, and then have 2 of them in there, wander around, and yeah, it was not very fun. At number 6 is the fur update. So this was mentioned in one of my comments, but basically when the game first came out, creatures that normally would have feathers and fur that were in the game, there weren't that many, but basically they didn't have a fur texture. It kind of just looked like a fake texture on them. As you can see right here, it looks like this mammoth just got a giant buzz cut. So they definitely looked real weird, and eventually they did an update where they added the actual fur texture so it didn't look terrible, and now that actually ended up making the creatures look really good. So number 5 is the original creatures. Some of you newer players might not know, but a lot of the old creatures got revamped in a TLC update. Basically, it changed their appearance and their abilities, gave them a bunch of new abilities, all kinds of stuff like that, and it just made them a lot better creatures and made them look a lot less ugly, because some of them did look pretty bad before the TLC update, like the RG and stuff. Coming in at number 4 is the old HUD. So this one definitely brings back some memories looking at it. And you can see there's a lot of stuff different. A lot of this stuff was just rearranged different, and then the new HUD kind of rearranged it to make it easier to use, and of course gave you a lot more options on what you could do inside your inventory. So obviously the new system's got a lot more stuff you can do, but the old one is pretty nostalgic. So coming in at number 3, similar to the old HUD, was the old crafting sound effects. Now I personally love the old crafting sound effects because they just remind me a lot of playing ARC back in the day, but I will play them for you, and you could probably hear the difference from now. So coming in at number 2 is kind of a smaller one, but basically it is when Flak Armor used to be crafted in the Fabricator. So basically the Flak Armor back then was the best armor in the game. There was no Riot Armor, and there was definitely no Tech Armor. So we just had to deal with Flak being the best, and because Flak was the best, Chitin was made in the Smithy, and then Flak was made in the Fabricator, because the Fabricator of course was the in-game building tool. So you had to wait all the way till then just to build the Flak Armor. That's why the Flak Armor currently today is engrams higher level than the Fabricator, is because it is, used to be built in the Fabricator. So number one is back when we used to get those monthly ARC updates. These weren't just like bug fix updates or anything like that. These were like fully fledged content updates. They would add like 4 to 5 new creatures every single update, adding a bunch of new dinosaurs to all maps, like the island and stuff like that. There's tons of stuff, like the UD and all that kind of stuff that were added in these updates, as well as they'd add a bunch of new items as well, not just creatures. They would add new items to the island as well, which is super fun to mess around with, and I wish they would do more updates like that nowadays. So that is the video. If you guys have any other suggestions, then make sure to leave a comment down below, and I might make a part 2 if this video is popular. So if you want a part 2, make sure to leave a like and comment part 2 or whatever. But thanks for watching, and bye.